Today we're going to look at how to multiply mixed numbers. Let's start off with a real life example. A recipe for cookies calls for 3/4 cup of milk. Betty plans to triple the recipe. How much milk should she use? When you look at the word triple, you remember that means to multiply by 3. So, to find out how much milk we will need for 3 times the amount of the recipe, we would simply multiply 3/4 by 3 wholes. You remember in the last lesson that if you multiply by a whole, you simply write that over 1. In other words, you take any mixed number or whole number and you write it as an improper fraction. Then we would try to cross simplify. In this case, I can't. 3 and 1 are not divisible by anything, and 3 and 4 have no common factor either. So I multiply numerator by numerator, that gives me 9. Denominator by denominator, that gives me 4. And my answer is an improper fraction. So then I would divide 9 by 4 to write my answer back as a mixed number. So 4 goes into 9, 2 whole time. 2 times 4 is 8. Remainder 1. This tells me my mixed number. I have 2 wholes and 1 fourth. 2 wholes and 1 fourth. So Betty will need 2 1/4 cups of milk in order to triple the recipe. Okay, let's look at some more examples of how to multiply mixed numbers. In this example, you see 1/3 times 3 3/8. One of the things you have to do when multiplying mixed numbers is you have to make any mixed numbers improper fractions first. So in this example, I have 1/3 times 3 3/8. 1/3 is already a normal fraction. It's already a proper fraction. So we don't need to change this at all. So we're going to keep this 1/3. 3 3/8 is a mixed number. So we must make it an improper fraction. We learned how to do this several weeks ago. You multiply the whole by the denominator, because 3 wholes is like 24/8. So 3 times 8 is 24, plus we need to add these 3, so that gives us 27/8. So 3 3/8 is 27/8. Rewind that if you didn't catch how to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. Rewind it if you need to watch that again. Now we proceed as we were doing in the last lesson. Cross simplify. 27 and 3 have a common factor of 3. I can divide them by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. I can't cross simplify 1 and 8. So now I multiply 1 by 9 and 1 by 8. And my answer will often give me an improper fraction when multiplying mixed numbers. So I divide to turn them back into a mixed number. 8 goes into 9 1 whole time with 1/8 left over. So my answer is 1 1/8. I'm sure you could follow that division in your head. If not, you write it out. Make sure you're copying these examples. Here is another example for you. In this case, we have 2 mixed numbers, 2 2/5 times 1 7/8. Remember, anytime you have mixed numbers and you need to multiply them, change them into improper fractions. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12/5. And this number would be 1 times 8, which is 8, plus 7, which is 15/8. In this, don't forget to cross simplify. In this example, 12 and 8 are both divisible by 4. Now at this point some people say, well, they're divisible by 2. Can't I divide by 2? Yes, you can. But if you want to get the numbers as small as possible, you have to divide by the greatest common factor. The largest number you can think of that goes into both 8 and 12, and that is 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, so that becomes a 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now I'm going to do that again. Across the other diagonal, 5 and 15 are both divisible by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. Now I'm ready to multiply numerator by numerator. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 2 is 2. That was so much easier than having to multiply 12 by 15. I would get a really big number there. But instead I have nice simple numbers. I really simplified the problem for myself. Now I divide 9 by 2. I'm sure most of you can follow this in your head. 2 goes into 9 4 whole times, because 2 times 4 is 8, and there would be 1 left over. So my answer is 4 and a half. Now I want you to try some. Feel free to pause the video if you haven't had a chance to copy down the notes. Try these 2 examples, pause the video, and unpause it when you're finished, and we'll check them together. Let's check these last 2 examples and see how you did. 3/4 is a proper fraction, so we're going to leave that alone. 3 1/3 is a mixed number, so I'm going to change that to an improper fraction. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So this becomes 10/3. This is 3/4. When I multiply them, I find I can cross simplify first. 3 and 3 are divisible by 3, so that becomes a 1. And 4 and 10 are both divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. And when I divide 5 by 2, you can check the division here. 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Remainder 1. Go around the clock here. 2 and 1/2 is my answer. 2 and 1/2. Did you get it right? Let's check the last one here. Make these improper. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14/5. And this mixed number would be 4 times 8, which is 32, plus 3, so that gives me 35/8. Now these numbers are very big. I don't want to do 14 times 35 if I can cross simplify. So let's cross simplify. 15 and 35 are both divisible by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 35 divided by 5 is 7. 8 and 14 are both divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, how'd you do so far? 7 times 7 is 49. 3 times 4 is 12. And I have an improper fraction, so I'm going to do one last division problem to figure out what that mixed number would be. I know 12 goes into 49 4 times, because 4 times 12 is 48, with a remainder of 1. So my answer is 4 wholes and 1/12. 4 and 1/12. Make sure you bring all these examples and notes to school with you tomorrow. See you then.